In today's video, we're going to be talking about which sleep rituals could be sabotaging your sleep and which rituals are best to adopt when you have insomnia. Now, there is a lot of advice out there for all these different sleep rituals like meditating before bed or drinking a calming tea or wear a sleep tracker. Whatever it is, there are a lot out there and they could be causing you to have more sleep anxiety. And that's what we're going to be discussing in today's video. I'm going to break down which rituals that you can eliminate and get rid of and which ones that you can adopt. And these are the same exact rituals that I had to go through. I had to eliminate some of them and I had to adopt some new ones. So let's go ahead and get started. To start off, let's talk about sleep efforts. Sleep efforts are anything that we do with the intent of trying to make ourselves sleep. They are a way to try to control sleep, try to maintain your sleep, and make yourself get more sleep, when in fact we can't control sleep. And this is what can be leading to anxiety and why some of these rituals can be so problematic. When it comes to insomnia, performing all these sleep efforts are not going to fix your insomnia because they're not going after the root cause. So night after night, we're trying all these new sleep efforts. We're trying a new thing to try to fix our sleep, which ultimately end up failing because they can't make us sleep anyway. They're not going to work. So we feel like we're broken. We start to fear not sleeping again. Our fear increases. We worry. We feel broken. And then we end up adopting more rituals, trying new things. Whatever we could find on the internet, whatever advice, we try it. Another ritual that ends up failing, ends up feeding that fear and worry, and then our sleep anxiety increases. Now what happens is that fear is increasing more and more, and we're trying to escape sleeplessness. And this is what's sending signals to your brain that there is danger. And that is the opposite of what we want to do. Now, your brain is starting to identify wakefulness as a threat, and it's keeping you alert and awake at night so that it can keep you safe. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It doesn't want you to get deep, long sleep because that's dangerous. If there's a danger out there, it is dangerous to be in a deep, long sleep. That is why you can't get good sleep. Your brain thinks there is danger. And a lot of these rituals are feeding into that fear and causing your brain to think there's danger. It's reinforcing those signals. Okay, so let's talk about the rituals that you can get rid of, that you can eliminate. And let's start off with the very strict relaxation rituals that we perform to try to make ourselves be relaxed enough to be able to sleep. I have to meditate before bed. I have to take a calming hot bath. I have to listen to relaxation music, and we have a strict schedule when we need to do these so that we can sleep. Remember, these are sleep efforts. And like we talked about with sleep efforts, they ultimately end up failing and they lead to more sleep anxiety, which is the last thing that we want before bed. That's the opposite of being relaxed. Now, yes, of course, relaxation activities are amazing for people who don't have insomnia, who don't have the sleep anxiety and the fear. It's really great for them. And that'll be helpful for you in the future as well once you have overcome insomnia. But later in this video, I will be talking about ways that you can adopt some relaxation in the evening without the intent of trying to make yourself sleep. We'll talk about that later. The second ritual that you can get rid of are the sleep trackers. This is Apple Watch. The Aura rings and the sleep trackers that we wear, those can create a lot of problems and feed into that sleep anxiety. We start to obsess over the numbers. Do we have a good score? Is it optimal? Is it perfect? It can help you feel more broken. You're going to be looking at these suboptimal numbers and feel like there's something wrong with you, that there must be something broken that can't be fixed. Plus, these sleep trackers are not very accurate. I have had sleep trackers where I have just been lying down, resting in bed awake, watching a TV show. I'm not moving very much, and it thought I was in a deep sleep. And I've had the opposite problem too, where it thought I was awake, but I was just having a very light sleep. So I was moving around a lot, and it thought I was awake the entire time when I was actually asleep. These numbers aren't accurate. We can't trust the results, and they only make us focus on the problems. They constantly focused on this negative number and trying to say what sleep stages you are getting and how many minutes and the percentages. You're focused on all these negatives instead of the opposite. It's going to make you feel more broken. It's going to feed into that sleep anxiety, that fear, and the worry, which is the opposite of what we want. Another sleep ritual that you can get rid of are the clocks. I'm sure you've probably already heard this one before, but checking the clock in the middle of the night is not going to help you one little bit. It only creates sleep anxiety. We're calculating the math. It's going to make us more stressed, more hyper aroused, which is going to lead to less sleep. There's no benefit out of doing it, and I used to do it too over and over all night. But when I look back and I'm like, why? What good did it do? Sitting there going, okay, if I go to sleep, if I can fall asleep within half an hour, I can get 3 hours sleep. What is that going to do? So you can go ahead, get rid of the clock, cover it up so that you can't see it, and that's going to bring you more peace at bedtime. If you're awake in the middle of the night, resist the urge. You can put tape over the time on your phone, whatever it is, so that you don't see the time. Another sleep ritual that you can get rid of is this deep focus on the sleep hygiene. I know it is promoted so much out there. The best thing that we need to do to improve our sleep, have the optimal temperature, the optimal lighting, the optimal sound, optimal everything, whatever all the different sleep hygiene tips are out there. Yes, they are great for making you feel comfortable. Yes, you want to sleep in a comfortable room, or you want it to be dark, it's more comfortable, whatever feels best when you're sleeping. Yes, that is amazing. But this sleep hygiene is promoted to help you get better sleep, and that is a sleep effort. When it comes to insomnia, we need to get rid of the sleep effort, show our brain that we're not trying to escape sleeplessness so that it can start to learn that being awake isn't dangerous. That is what's going to lead to more sleep. So yes, you can practice those sleep hygiene tips, but not with the intent of trying to get yourself to sleep. Do them to help make yourself more comfortable. That is the best thing you can do. In fact, that's the best thing you can do with anything that you do around sleep, whether it's a relaxation routine, whether it's sleep efforts, or not sleep, or sleep hygiene, or anything that you do. If there's an intent to try to make you sleep, get rid of it. If it's just because it feels good, keep it. Now, before we talk about which rituals to adopt that I highly recommend and really help me overcome insomnia and will be really helpful for you, I want to invite you over to my free sleep makeover community. The link is in the description box below. Over there, you can get free coaching, free personalized coaching. Every month, I host coaching for absolutely everyone. You don't need to pay a single cent to be a part of it. You can jump over to the community, click the link below, and I hope to see you in there. Let's talk about the activities, the rituals that you can do to help you overcome insomnia. Let's start off with low pressure, enjoyable activities that you can do before bed. Now, I'm not talking about doing relaxation exercises or meditation, doing a relaxing activity to help relax you so that you can sleep. As we talked about, that is a sleep effort. So instead, let's do something that you enjoy that's low pressure. And when I say low pressure, I mean it's not going to pressure you to get more sleep. For example, if you are watching or reading a relaxing book before bed, you are doing it to relax, to get more sleep, right? So that's putting some pressure to get sleep, because you're like, I hope this will make me sleep. This needs to make me sleep. Otherwise, I'm going to have to try more things. It's adding pressure. And we want to completely eliminate that pressure and do something you enjoy. We're not trying to escape sleeplessness. We're trying to enjoy ourselves without the intention of trying to sleep. It can be reading, it can be watching a TV show, it could be doing arts and crafts, it could be writing, journaling, whatever it is that you enjoy or feel like doing in the moment, that is perfect. I've had a client once who told me she used to do puzzles before bed. She loved doing puzzles in the middle of the night before bed. Like, she was a puzzle fanatic. If you're watching this, hey, I hope you're doing well. But yeah, anything that you enjoy. Now, the next tip is very similar, and It's called befriending wakefulness. Instead of trying to fight being awake, when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're unable to fall back asleep, instead of trying to make yourself sleep, do something you enjoy. Show your brain that you're not trying to escape sleeplessness and that you aren't scared of it. That is what's going to teach your brain that you are safe so that you can get more sleep. Yes, the activities you do in the middle of the night might be more stimulating, but that's going to do more for you in the long run than constantly trying to make yourself sleep, because you need to teach your brain that you are safe. So whatever you enjoy doing, just like before bed, you can do in the middle of the night. You can color, you can do puzzles, you can read, you can watch TV shows, even though there's blue light and the TV show might be stimulating. Anything so that you can show your brain you're not scared and you're not trying to escape being awake. Remember, when you are doing things, you don't want to have the intention of sleeping. The tricky part is, all of this that we're trying to adopt in the end is to help you sleep. So it can be, in a way, an attempt to escape sleeplessness because you want to overcome insomnia in the future. It's very tricky. But when you go with the mindset of none of this is going to make me sleep anyway, I might as well just enjoy myself without the expectation of sleep, without the expectation of being awake all night, without the expectation of being asleep, being okay with whether you're awake all night or not. Now, of course, we don't really want to be awake at night, but if you aren't fighting sleep and getting anxious and you're awake all night, calm and relaxed, enjoying yourself, you're going to feel so much better the next day. Another really helpful sleep ritual is reframing all your thoughts, your worries, and your fears around sleep and insomnia, or whatever is making you anxious. Now, I've talked about this in almost every single video prior to this one, but we'll talk about it briefly. Fear is what feeds insomnia and what tells our brain that we're in danger, right? Anytime you have a fear related to sleep, whether it's, how am I going to get through the day? I'm worried I'm not going to be able to get through the day if I don't sleep. We can take these worries and reframe them to something that feels more positive. Now, I'm not talking about going from, I'm scared I'm not going to be able to get through the day, to everything's going to be perfect, I'm going to have full 100% energy, everything's going to be amazing. Like whatever the full opposite positive is. No, because we're not going to be able to believe that. It's likely not going to be true. So doing something that you can believe that feels a little bit better. So if you're scared of how you're going to get through the day, you can look at the past. You have made it through 100% of the days. There's never been a day you haven't made it through. You can use that as evidence that you can get through the day. And you may even had good days on zero sleep. You never know when you're going to have a good day. Sleep does not need to determine that. And you can remember that you've had good days in the past. That can help decrease that fear and worry. Now, you can do this with any of your fear-based thoughts, or any thought that doesn't feel good. You can reframe it to something that feels a little bit better without having to go all the way 100% positive. You got to keep doing this consistently over and over and over again, because those fear-based thoughts, the same ones, are going to keep popping up over and over again. And it takes a long time to teach your brain to rewire things for you to think that way. It will happen with time. You just got to keep doing it. Now, the whole point of doing this is, yes, it'll help you feel better, but also we're decreasing those fear levels so that your brain can learn that you aren't fearing something, that you aren't in danger, so that you can start to get more sleep in the end. Another really great ritual that you can start to adopt is practicing mindfulness and gratitude. Those are two amazing things to help you overcome insomnia. Now, mindfulness, you might have heard over and over again in the past. You're probably sick of hearing it, but mindfulness is so important. The reason is, if we're fearing something or worried about something, we are in the future, something that could potentially happen. If we're in this moment, we can't have fear or worry. If we did, we would be focused on the future. So that's the point of mindfulness, is bringing you into the now, into this moment. And some ways you can do that is just focusing on your breath, meditating, focusing on the senses. That's a really simple one that I used to do in the beginning. That's how I started off practicing mindfulness. And the way you do that is if you're starting to feel anxious or worried or fearful, focus on what you can sense around you, on every single sense. So to tell you what I mean, like touch. You can touch things around you. How does it feel? This feels soft and rough at the same time. Rough. What do you see? Look at the colors, the textures. Like I see an orange umbrella. What do you smell? I smell rain in the air because it's raining here. I don't have a sense of smell, but I know that's what people would say. I smell the grass outside. What do you taste? This one's a little more difficult. You can go grab like a piece of chocolate or fruit or something, put in your mouth, and just focus on the taste. I remember when I used to be anxious, like in the beginning, I wouldn't do all the senses, but I remember I would just sit there and be like, I see green grass. I see there's some long parts. Like I would describe it like anything in the moment, and that will help bring you right in the moment and ground you. That is really powerful because you're taking that fear away, which is feeding the insomnia. I mentioned gratitude. Gratitude is great because it helps you focus on the positives as well, positive aspects as well. Because when you have insomnia and you feel like crap and you're feeling anxious and just everything feels wrong, it's so easy to focus on everything that is wrong. All the negative aspects, all the lack of sleep we're getting, all the horrible feelings. I don't get to go out with friends. I don't do all this stuff. Like everything around you in life, not just sleep, you start to focus on that. And it becomes a habit. We're training our brain to keep that habit by taking moments every day to focus on what you're grateful for. That helps you start to train your brain to look for the positives. So I'm grateful I have such a loving family that supports me through all this. I'm grateful for my spouse. I'm grateful for the sleep that I am getting. Yeah, for me, I got 1 or 2 days a week of sleep, and I'd only sleep 2 or 3 hours, up to 6 hours total in a week. And that was on the best days. I could be grateful for the 5 or 6 hours of sleep I do get. There are people that get less than that. I'm grateful that I am getting some. So you want to train your brain to start to look for the positives as well and teach the habit. You can create that habit in your brain so you start to look for the more positive things. That's going to make you feel better mentally. It's going to help you feel less broken. It's going to help you feel better physically. Just overall, it helps your relationships and everything. There's a lot of positive aspects to it that it can help you. Now, I did talk about relaxation exercises before bed and how doing them is like part of sleep hygiene and a way to try to make ourselves sleep, a sleep effort. But I think relaxation is still important to include in our life. We can do them without the intent of trying to make ourselves sleep. So yeah, you can go meditate, you can do something relaxing if it helps you to feel good. It feels good to relax before bed instead of just being up moving around when we're tired. I think it's really good mentally and physically to take time to relax every day. So you can still do those rituals of relaxation as long as you're careful that they aren't for the intent of trying to make yourself sleep or trying to make yourself calm enough to sleep, because that's when we can start to have trouble and that's where we can start to get stuck. Just come at the mindset of I'm doing them because I feel good. And there's no point of trying to make myself sleep because it's ultimately going to fail. So I might as well just enjoy myself, and relaxing in that hot bath or whatever it may be might be enjoyable in the evening when you are tired from the day. And just remember, it's so important to not have these strict rules and strict schedules before bed to try to make sleep happen and make things perfectly. I've never met anyone who's had quite as strict schedule as I did, but I used to have at this time, this has to happen, and this on a note card. We need to be more flexible. These things are not ultimately what's going to lead to more sleep. It's the stress and worry and fear and getting anxious when things don't make ourselves sleep. That's what's making a big difference in our sleep, not having these strict schedules and routines that we have to do. And just release all your expectations about how quickly you should fall asleep, how much sleep you should get, how quickly you should overcome insomnia, all these different things. Release those expectations. They don't help you in any way. They're not going to lead to more sleep. They're not going to make you feel more relaxed. Just go with the flow, be flexible, do what you enjoy. Focus on relaxing, enjoying your evening, or when you're up in the middle of the night. And that is what's going to ultimately teach your brain that you are safe so that you can overcome insomnia. And make sure you find joy in your life every day. Find something that you enjoy, something that makes you happy, and that's going to help. So now that you know the rituals that you need to get rid of and the rituals that you can adopt, it's time for you to learn the #1 most insomnia lesson that I needed to learn. The biggest one out of everything that you could possibly learn inside of this video. So definitely go watch that one. I highly recommend it. If you're going to learn anything, even before this stuff, it would be this video. So I hope to see you over there.